Yeah, we're good.
We'll get back on yours.
All right. Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to start logging back on, just to make sure we got everyone. Get everything back together. There we are. Now we're having people. Sorry about that, guys. A lot of issues happened at a lot of different times. The Wi-Fi went out, and then we had to delete it.
This time.
There was a lot.
That situation.
It was not fun. I'm not a technical person. I'm very bad at computers. Okay, hopefully the Wi-Fi does not go out again. That was awful. That was very, very bad. There we go. Oh, now we're getting people. Cool. Told you it was going to take me about 20 minutes. I gave myself a little wiggle room, but I didn't know I needed that much. Sorry. Don't worry, you will still be getting the time for all that. No worries. It's just like we took a very long break to draw the cell that we're supposed to draw. No worries. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. That makes my heart happy. Oh, yeah, me too. 3 mental cries later, you know. 3 cries later, we're back here. Yeah, it was like one domino after the other after the other. It's kind of like the Wi-Fi went out, and the computer died, then I couldn't go back on live, so it was a lot. All right, we only have 4 people so far. Hey, the 4 of you that are logged on, can y'all like text or notify something? I know y'all have a big group message. Could y'all notify the others that we're back? There we go. Yeah. Notify everyone that we are back on. Sorry, it's like pouring over here and the Wi-Fi went out. I didn't know the Wi-Fi goes out whenever it thunderstorms, but it's all right. It's okay. We're here. Oh, great. All right, so make sure you have your pen and paper. I would suggest a spiral, all of your markers, all of your different colors for the labeling. If you have not labeled, label it in the back. Label me right there and label the neurological cell in the back of me right here. I'm just going to give everyone kind of a few minutes to get back on. Sorry about that. There we go. Now we're getting people. Yeah, for those of you, since there's so little, and I know there was a lot tuning in, if you want to text your friends and tell them I'm back, so that way we can get everyone back. Sorry. And yes, you will be getting the time back. You'll still be getting the time. Sorry. I'm not a computer person. If it doesn't work whenever I turn it off and back on, it's probably just not going to work anymore. Okay, we are getting a few more people back. We're just going to wait to get a few more, just so that way no one misses out. So we're going to start off where we left off. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes for everyone to get back on. I know we had a lot of people. Make sure you're putting your first and last name. Make sure you are, once you come back in here, that you are redoing roll call. So right now is a good call time. Make sure you're redoing roll call, just to make sure that we got you, just in case during the during the 20 or however many minutes we were down that you were trying to log on, so that way we can get everything. All right, there we go. Now we're getting a few people back. All right. Make sure you're doing roll call so that way we don't miss you. And we are going to start off where we left off. We're just waiting for a few more people. Rain is not fun sometimes. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. Now we're going to get started. So we left off drawing the neurological cell. So make sure that you have that. What we're going to now do is kind of say, what is this and what does it do? So you want to get out your pens, pencils, and notepads. We're going to continue. So a neuron, also known as the nerve cell, is the primary structural unit of these cells in the nervous system. So the neuron, that's really what that whole dendrite, that whole cell is. It's just pretty much one big neuron. The fancier term for it is neurological cell. I just want to put the fancy term to feel cool. I do a little bit. There we go. So the neuron or the nerve cell, it is basically just like everything we have, everything has cells. So the neuron even our nerves have cells in them. So the special cell that is in the nerves that makes the nerves function like they are is the neuron. Make sure everyone got this. The neuron. All right. The next one we have is the dendrites. The dendrites are nerve fibers extending from the nerve cell that receives impulses from other neurons. So in the picture, the dendrites were the little tree branch looking things, and that's what they do. So the other nerve cells talks to the other nerve cell through the dendrites. So if they're saying, hey, I need this muscle to move, you know, they're talking to each other. Hey, we need to get the gluteus maximus to move. Hey, we need to get the eyeball to move or sense. So that's what a dendrite does. It's kind of like the cell phone of the nerve. It lets all of them talk to each other. Okay. So the last part we have is the axon. The axon sends impulses away from the cell body to other neurons, glands, and muscles. So the axon pretty much tells the muscles, okay, you need to move. Let's go. Come on. That's what the axon does. So the nerve, just like you looked, we didn't label it, but I just wanted you to know what an axon and the dendrites were. So in that cell, you have a nucleus and everything that a normal cell does. So basically, one cell says one little neuron will tell the other neuron that, hey, the brain told us that we need to get this muscle to move. We need to get our arm to move. We need to get a bicep because some guy is trying to flex. So what they do is through the dendrites, they tell each other, all of the little neurons, hey, we need to get the bicep to move through the dendrites. So it goes through all the processing of the neuron, and then the axon, they tell the axon will plug into the muscle cells and tell them, hey, you need to move. Come on, get up, let's go. And this all happens within nanoseconds, from going from the brain to the spinal cord, to the nerves, to the dendrites. It all happens within nanoseconds. So it's really, really cool to see how that. Okay, so now that we talked about how a ton of little neurological cells make up a ton of nerves, now we have different types of nerves. So I know this is a longer definition, so we'll keep this up. So we have our sensory nerves, or afferent nerves. They carry impulses or messages from the sense organ to the brain and the spinal cord. So these nerves can sense pain, heat, cold, and taste. So these nerves basically are the nerves that tells the brain, so whenever you put your hands over a hot stove and you know how you feel that heat and you automatically just want to back away from the heat, that's basically saying all the sensory nerves are going back through the spinal cord and then back to the brain, and those sensory nerves are saying, ooh, I think that's hot. And the brain says, oh, wait, we get burned by heat. Don't touch that. And then it goes back through everyone else and back through the sensory nerves, and it tells us, no, we shouldn't. Stop, don't touch the hot stove. So that's what it also does. The sensory nerves also help with our 5 senses. So I taste something sweet. My sensory nerves tell my brain, hey, you should taste something sweet, I'm pretty sure. Not only does the tongue, it works with the tongue to tell it tastes sweet, but it tells it, hey, there's something on your tongue. I wonder what it tastes like. So it does also helps with the 5 senses. So whenever your body's cold, all of your nerves kind of tell the body, hey, I'm cold, start hypothermia process. So that is what the sensory nerves do. Okay. So from our sensory nerves, we have our motor nerves. Our motor nerves, or efferent nerves, carries impulses from the brain to the muscles or glands. So the motor nerves goes to all of those nerves tell our muscles to move. So those are the ones that are just like, oh, I want to move my bicep. I need to write this paper. Then they say, okay, they tell the brain, okay, you need to move. So those are our motor nerves. One way to tell the difference, so sensory nerves, you can smell apples. Motor nerves, the way I remember them is that I was very dumb in college, so I was like, oh, efferent motor nerves, because Alana has a car. That's how I would remember it. Yeah, I know. Anything to remember stuff. Okay, that is our motor nerves. And then our reflexes. So our reflexes are automatic nerve reaction to a stimulus that involves movement impulses. So basically what this long fancy definition is pretty much a stimulus is anything that can stimulate a muscle, nerve, or anything. So like whenever doctors hit the little hammer on your knee and your knee just automatically kicks, that's a reflex. And it is automatic. You don't even have to think about it. That's how quickly the brain is reacting to all of these. It's the brain's reaction. So that is a reflex. Okay, so the next type, now that we know that there are different types of nerves, there's different types of, we have our neuron, which makes up our nerve, which makes up different types of nerves, and we also have different parts of the body like the CNS. So now we're going to go a little bit more into that, not too much. So now that we know that all the nerves are made up of, we have 12 different cranial muscles. 12 different cranial nerves. So the only ones every one of y'all need to know are 5, 7, and 11. So we are almost done, guys. We just have the 5th, the 7th, and 11th cranial muscle in our last drawing, and y'all are done for the day. So because you use the 5th, 7th, and 11th cranial nerves during facials, that is why we need to learn it. So the 5th cranial nerve, and I'm going to leave this up there for a little bit so y'all can write it. The 5th cranial nerve, or the trifacial nerve, or the trigeminal nerve, is the chief sensory nerve of the muscle, of the face, sorry. It serves as the motor nerve muscle that controls chewing. So this right here, this nerve tells the muscle of the mandible, hey, you need to move, and the muscle moves the bone, which is the mandible. So it tells you everything. And this nerve right here only controls the mandible. And I'm going to leave this up here for a little bit, so y'all, because I know it is. It's trifacial and trigeminal. Okay, so the second one we have to learn for our facials is the 7th cranial nerve. This is the chief motor nerve, controls all of the muscles of facial expressions and secretions of saliva. Okay, so the last and final cranial nerve we have to know for facials is the 11th cranial nerve. Okay, so the 11th cranial nerve is also known as the accessory nerve that controls the motion of the neck and shoulder muscles, affected during facials primarily with massage. So whenever you are massaging the décolleté area, that is something y'all should all know. Whenever you're massaging the décolleté area, you are also massaging the cranial nerve. Okay, so that was the final vocab word. So that is the final vocab word. Yes, it was supposed to say massage. I did these without coffee. Yes, so that's the final vocabulary word. Before you log off, what I'm going to do is we are going to do one more drawing. And then once you are, and I'm going to leave it up for a very, very long time. So those of you who want to go back through this one video and go through it that were late, y'all can. I'm going to leave the drawing that I want you to draw up. Once you are done drawing, make sure you do roll call and then you can exit. But I'm going to give you about 20 minutes to do this drawing. Thank you. Can y'all hear me now? Yeah. Okay, so whenever you're doing this, make sure that you have all the 2 diagrams and 15 vocab words. Make sure that you turn them into Molly. You can go back and view these. So make sure that you do that. It's due tonight. Okay, the latest we're going to take them is 8 o'clock. Okay, so make sure that you turn in all of the notes. So, yeah. Bye, guys. I'll see y'all later.